type of music that they love. And so it's certainly an excellent area to appeal to people.
Any organizers on?
Last area we're going to talk about is poetry. I came across Wendell Berry by reading, has anybody read Bill Kaufman's Look Homeward America? Yes. It's a fantastic book. It's really such a cool book. And it talks about some of the things that I think a lot of people at PorcFest in particular would be interested in. And that's the convergence of almost the far left and the far right, and the things that they have in common, an appreciation for local culture and a skepticism of centralized authority in particular. Wendell Berry certainly is not with us 100% of the way, but he's composed some beautiful things. And right now, I'm going to ask Tatiana Moros to share with us this beautiful poem. So please give her a round of applause and welcome her to the stage.
To a Siberian woodsman after looking at some pictures in a magazine. You lean at ease in your warm house at night after supper, listening to your daughter play the accordion. You smile with the pleasure of a man confident in his hands, resting after a day of long labor in the forest, the cry of the saw in your head, and the vision of coming home to rest. Your daughter's face is clear in the joy of hearing her own music. Her fingers live on the keys like people familiar with the land they were born in. You sit at the dinner table late into the night with your son, tying the bright flies that will lead you along the forest streams. Over you, as your hands work, is the dream of still pools. Over you is the dream of your silence, while the east brightens, birds waking close by you in the trees. I have thought of you stepping out of your doorway at dawn, your son in your tracks. You go in under the overarching green branches of the forest, whose ways, strange to me, are well known to you as the sound of your own voice, or the silence that lies around you now that you have ceased to speak, and soon the voice of the stream rises ahead of you and you take the path beside it. I have thought of the sun breaking pale through the mists over you as you come to the pool where you will fish, and of the mist drifting over the water, and of the cast fly resting light on the face of the pool. And I am here in Kentucky, in the place I have made myself in the world. I sit on my porch above the river that flows muddy and slow along the feet of the trees. I hear the voice of the wren and the yellow-throated warbler, whose songs pass near the windows and over the roof. In my house, my daughter learns the womanhood of her mother. My son is at play, pretending to be the man he believes I am. I am the outbreathing of this ground. My words are its words, as the wren's song is its song. Who has invented our enmity? Who has prescribed us hatred of each other? Who has armed us against each other with the death of the world? Who has appointed me such anger that I should desire the burning of your house or the destruction of your children? Who has appointed such anger to you? Who has set loose the thought that we should oppose each other with the ruin of forests and rivers and the silence of the birds? Who has said to us that the voices of my land shall be strange to you, and the voices of your land strange to me? Who has imagined that I would destroy myself in order to destroy you, or that I could improve myself by destroying you? Who has imagined that your death could be negligible to me now that I have seen these pictures of your face? Who has imagined that I would not speak familiarly with you, or laugh with you, or visit in your house and go to work with you in the forest? And now one of the ideas of my place will be that you would gladly talk and visit and work with me. I sit in the shade of the trees of the land I was born in. As they are native, I am native, and I hold this place as carefully as they hold to it. I do not see the national flag flying from the staff of the sycamore, or any decree of the government written on the leaves of the walnut, nor has the elm bowed before any monuments or sworn the oath of allegiance. They have not declared to whom they stand and welcome. In the thought of you, I imagine myself free of the weapons and the official hates that I have borne on my back like a hump. And in the thought of myself, I imagine you free of weapons and official hates, so that if we should meet, we would not go by each other, looking at the ground like slaves, sullen under their burdens, but would stand clear in the gaze of each other. There is no government so worthy as your son, who fishes with you in silence beside the forest pool. There is no national glory so comely as your daughter, whose hands have learned music and go their own way on the keys. There is no national glory so comely as my daughter, who dances and sings and is the brightness of my house. There is no government so worthy as my son who laughs as he comes up the path from the river in the evening for joy.
Thank you very much, Tatiana. Yeah, Wendell Berry to a Siberian Woodsman, and the subtitle is, after looking at some pictures in a magazine, which again I think is interesting because you have the prior song, Creedence Clearwater Revival, where he was inspired by a picture he saw. So again, this piece of art, this photograph that so much was inspired from that art form. This poem, to me, is amazing. It's a grand indictment of government, and I think it's a sentiment that we can all agree that there is no government as beautiful as our children, or so worthy as our family, as so many other things. Again, this is another great piece to use in your advocacy and to reach people who aren't going to be compelled from another journal article, an article from Reason Magazine. You may be able to reach them with a poem instead, and it's something certainly I'd love for you to consider. I can't really do a talk without bringing up Adam Smith's Theory of Moral Sentiments, because it's probably my favorite thing to read incessantly. And he talks a lot, of course, about sympathy in there. And I'd like to share this quote with you, and why I think that using art to spread our ideas is so important. As we have no immediate experience of what other men feel, we can form no idea of the manner in which they are affected, but by conceiving what we ourselves should feel in the like situation. Though our brother is on the rack, as long as we ourselves are at our ease, our senses will never inform us of what he suffers. They never did and never can carry us beyond our own person, and it is by the imagination only that we can form any conception of what are his sensations. Neither can that faculty help us to this any other way than by representing to us what would be our own if we were in his case.